of mine said, well, you look pretty white. I understand how I look. But it's my last name, Obeidallah, that gets attention. A friend said, well, why don't you translate it into the English translation? Maybe no one will pick up my ethnic heritage during these difficult times. Let me share with you literally what Obeidallah means. You tell me it'll help. Obeidallah translates into servant of Allah. That's not helping at all, is it, folks? Dean, servant of Allah? How difficult would it be for me to make airline flight reservations for the rest of my entire life?
It was Dean Obeidallah, a Palestinian-American comedian who you may remember from Comedy Central's Axis of Evil special. Dean is co-creator and co-producer of the New York Arab American Comedy Festival. Welcome, Dean. You've been spending a lot of time in the Middle East. We were just talking about this. You do take your show, you do stand-up comedy. We thought, you know, we're having a pretty weighty discussion today. We should get a comedian somewhere in here.
These great people with this great background, then there's a comedian.
Well, no, but it's great to have you here. Well, what is the reaction to your show? What is it like to be touring the show as an American, as an Arab American in the Middle East, doing your stand-up comedy in English at this moment in the Middle East, which is one of the most sort of epochal, incredible moments that we've seen? It's
been unbelievable. Honestly, it's one of the highlights of my career as a comedian because I'm seeing a different part of the world. History's being made while I'm there. I was in Saudi performing when the Egypt revolution was going on, in Qatar and Dubai, and speaking to young Saudis about universally, all the young people supported what was going on in Egypt. They didn't want it in their own country. They go, we're doing fine here. But I'm not even kidding. They're like, we're doing Qatar, you know, average income $120,000, $130,000 a person.
Right.
You don't want to revolt. Right. But now the story really is the young people there are doing comedy in Egypt, in Dubai, in Saudi. There's a vibrant comedy scene. There's no movie theaters. They're banned, but there's allowed to be stand-up comedy there. And they're being more and more expressive to the point where one day I think there'll be an Arab Chris Rock, an Arab Jon Stewart, who uses comedy to push up against politics, a way we do in America, which up until now, when I'm there, there's certain limits. I can't make fun of the leader of the country you're in, except for Lebanon. The promoter said, say whatever you want, but if you make fun of Hezbollah, you're on your own. And it literally said that. And so that was a little like, okay, no.
Did you have to edit?
Yeah, I had a bunch of Nasrallah jokes. Yeah, I had no jokes about Hezbollah. But it's exciting to see the growth of stand-up comedy over the last 3 years over there. They're embracing it, and that the fact that they're now using it as a sense of empowerment, I think, the young people to talk about issues they want to talk about.
I'm curious, do you tell any jokes when you're over there? And is there an arena for humor about American behavior in the region?
The jokes about American politics play great. The young people there follow American politics. George Bush was an amazing godsend for comedians. And in the
not just here in the U.S., it turns out globally.
They can laugh at him and not see him in a way that not to say that they like him, but they can actually laugh at him as a comedic figure as opposed to like a bad guy.
It's cathartic. I mean, the jokes that people in the Arab world laugh at, one, are American politics. Second, laugh jokes about themselves. Americans don't see Arabs laughing at themselves. They love jokes.
True.
If you don't hold up a mirror to them, those jokes, the rest of the jokes, the pale in comparison. The biggest laughs you get are jokes mocking. Like I talk about, the Arabs love smoking. I went to a gym. There's an ashtray and a treadmill. And they know that's true because they love smoking. The idea that Arab men fighting over the check is something, using words like inshallah, which means God willing, as Arabs, we know this. Overuse of those terms. Jokes about them, holding a mirror up to them, in front of their own culture, without getting into religion. You can't do jokes about Islam, Judaism, or Christianity. All three. It's not like go up there and make fun of, you know, Buddhists, fair game.
How have things changed from when you did that tour to now, in terms of what the general feeling is in America towards Arab Americans, and also in terms of how the Arab Spring has reformulated people's sort of mental image?
I think on some level the Arab Spring has been amazing in showing people that the people in the Arab world want the same freedoms that we do. They're giving their lives for it. And this idea, this talking point, they hate us for our freedoms. Well, I hope this is undermining that argument forever. When I saw Rick Santorum at one of the debates say they attacked us for our freedoms, you see people in the Arab world dying for freedoms. But secondly, I'll be quite honest with you, anti-Muslim sentiment, which is Arab and Muslim are not the same, but it's used interchangeably.
Particularly in the U.S., where the majority of Arabs are actually Christians. Exactly. Should be noted.
I think anti-Muslim sentiment in America today is worse than it's ever been. It's worse than right after 9/11. That transitory anger is past. It's accepted. It's mainstream. People use it to sell books, to go on TV, to run for office for it. You know, we live in a world now where a recent poll showed 47% of Americans don't think Muslims share the same values as they do, meaning we don't value life the same way. We don't embrace democracy they do. This is about Muslim Americans. It's a very trying time. And as a comedian, I look at the bright side. I go, well, it could be worse. They could give hurricanes Muslim names. Hurricane Mahmoud is coming. That's not going to help. So as a comedian, I try to make sense of this ridiculous world we live in, where we are not only judged by our worst examples, we are sentenced to a crime and convicted for the worst examples of people in our community.
He gave his speech in support of what was dubbed erroneously the Ground Zero Mosque, which is
And Rick Perry's been accused of being soft on Islam. Soft on Islam by people. That's the actual term they use because he has friends who are Muslim in Texas. It's like being soft on communism or soft on terrorism. Right. Islam has gone from a religion to now a political ideology, like a political statement that you have Muslim friends. Somehow it taints you. Right. It troubles me as an American. I mean, I'm in a tour now called The Muslims Are Coming. We're making a documentary. We did all 3 shows in the South and the Midwest to meet people. And the tour is not about Islam. The tour is about America. What kind of America do you want? Where minority religions are harassed or ones we can worship freely and have the same rights? That's what America is about.
And the issue also is not any Islam. It's the...
Dean Obeidallah, a comedian. What do you now know that you didn't know at the beginning of the week?
I learned that I love the Republican debates now. After watching Romney and Perry fight each other, I wish this goes on for years. I want to see it spin off into a TV series. It's better than Dancing with the Stars. It was a lot of fun. I swear to you, it was great TV. I hope they go on the road. Whatever happens in the election, just continue to make some money. Perry versus Romney, the battle royale.
It was pretty entertaining. My thanks to Hisham Mattar, author of In the